Peace be with you. Welcome to my new channel, Healing Life with Positivity 24/7, 365 days. Welcome. Let's just clear the energy, or let's just keep it a buck right out the gate and keep it clean. How y'all doing? Come on in, have a seat, stand up, sit down. This is the first video of this platform. I'm super excited. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I was being a bit disobedient. Let's just get that out of the way to source. Spirit has been pushing me to do this for a really long time. And I had started this platform back in 2019 on Facebook. And the pandemic had people all in this little funk, and it was really hard, y'all. I'm gonna be honest, to keep people in a positive mind state. The stores, were empty. There was no food. People were running around. We had to put on masks. And so I honestly got discouraged. I'm gonna be honest. I was working in the medical field and taking all these calls, and I went to my supervisor in tears, crying. I said, listen, you didn't train me for this. What is going on with our world? Help me. What is it that, we're going to do? Nevertheless, this is something that I just felt by way of positivity, understanding energy that we needed. But again, at that time, it was really difficult because there weren't that many people that I could touch and agree with, okay, to stay positive. Even in these, spiritual groups and people that did tarot, they were more focused on a lot of the shadows and black magic and what people were doing, even though we still expose those things because energetically we need to know what has happened in order to create some type of solution, right, for self. So that's the purpose for tarot. Shout out to the people that follow me on the other channel, Neff the Great, the Oracle God, or Oracle of God 111. Nevertheless, so I started this channel to cater to the inner child by way of shadow work and just to keep a kind reminder at the forefront of your life. You can listen to this on your way to work, lunchtime, in the bathtub, cleansing bath, whatever you feel comfortable with. But this is going to be a very relaxing, interactive type of channel. You might want to take notes. I'm hoping, my prayer is, and please touch and agree with me on this, that I'm able to create a really nice journal to go along with this platform. Initially, I was guided to do groups, and I was charging, I think, like $29.99 for the group, and Source was like, no, just do it, So I deleted the group on my other platform. You can follow me there for tarot, judgment court, spiritual court. It gets a little, interesting. We reveal a lot of things over there that are long overdue. And, but this is a little bit more up close and personal with me. So I'll be sharing some of my shadows, by way of what I was able to overcome by way of trauma. Okay. Also techniques that I used to overcome those things that I hope are going to be helpful and useful to you as you grow. There's going to be a lot of wrapping arms around yourself, a lot of putting your hands on your heart to bless your own heart, reminding yourself that you are your number one person. I do encourage you to get a mirror when you're watching these videos. There's something really powerful about looking into the mirror and doing this work. So I myself am absolutely going to get myself a handheld mirror. I do my mirror work in my big mirror, but on this particular platform, I don't have a mirror with me, but I am going to get me one. I think I'm going to order me one. Okay. Temu has really good ones, very inexpensive, or Etsy. I love those two places to shop, okay, because they're very inexpensive. But nevertheless, we pulled some angel cards here. Let's just see what the ancestors and or the universe is telling us in our spirit team. It says the power of breath. This is so interesting, y'all, because as I was meditating this morning, I was a little upset, y'all, about the WhatsApp people, okay, commenting on my platform, stealing money, asking people for money. A lot of those donations, honestly, y'all, never got to me, okay? They blocked me. Whoever these people are that are actively going from platform to platform, They blocked me. So whenever I go to my page, I can see that somebody's commented to you all, but I can't see what their comment is. They block me, and it looks like I'm the one that's commenting. So if my name is not highlighted in gray, it's not me. I'm not going to ask you to donate to no orphanage in Nigeria. I don't have a WhatsApp. I don't have a Telegram. I don't have any of that. Okay, so it's a no. Don't do it. So nevertheless, the power of breath, right? It says, relax your face, breathe in through your diaphragm. Every time you breathe, notice how powerful you feel. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Every breath takes in energy. Air gives us what we need to live. It fills us with power. Feeling the power of each breath allows us to charge ourselves like we charge our cell phones. Breathe this way for 8 minutes and feel yourself with power. This will help relax the body and power you up and give you a clear mind. Mental state. I just like showing the cards. Okay, the words are backwards, but why not? Namaste. Stress less. No worries. Say less, do more. That is my own addition to what the premise of these cards represent. The second one says conscious breathing. So Source is saying something about breathing. When I think about breathing, y'all, I think about going with the flow. This is what I think about. I think about, flow, right? Because you have to imagine that if you're holding your breath, you're restricting life, God forbid, okay, from either releasing something that needs to be released and or transmuted, or you're holding on to something. And so what it does is it inevitably puts a lot of stress, okay, on the physical body. Now, repetitively done over time, this is what creates tightness in the shoulders, the lower back, your feet. So this is why it's so important to stay grounded, taking that deep breath, going out into nature. I do, what is it called? Sun gazing. They say, oh, don't look directly at the sun. That's the biggest misconception you could have ever been taught. Unlearn that. That's my recommendation. Pray about that, meditate, decide whether or not that's something that you want to consider as part of your meditation, right? Stare at the sun. It is powerful. You are a natural breathing, walking solar panel. If you can take in that vitamin D, get it into your pineal gland by way of staring directly into the lights. Letting that light, if you don't want to stare directly into the light, close your eyes. You can still see the sun. As you gaze at the sun with your eyes closed, you can still see the sun. And let that light just shine in between your eyes. Now, here's the beautiful part. Let me just tell you about the power of the mind. Even as I sit here and I'm inside, okay? So the sun, I can't see it from where I am physically in this particular 3D version of myself. But if I close my eyes in my mind's eye, I can remember what it feels like to have the sun shining on me. And so technically, my mind is picking up every sense of what it feels like when I'm taking in the sun. And so as I'm closing my eyes, as I talk to you, I'm smiling because really I can feel the warmth of the sun healing me, going into my physical body. Somebody should write that down. Light is healing. Any forms of light is healing, right? So nevertheless, conscious breathing. Let's move along. Remind yourself to breathe throughout the day. Do not find yourself holding your breath or holding tension anywhere in your body. So that's what I was saying, y'all. So the WhatsApp people, they had me a little pissed off. I'm not going to lie. So when I went into my morning meditation, there's a beautiful queen by the name of the Blended Bean. She doesn't post on there anymore. I really wish that she would, but her body of work that she left us was small, but it was huge by way of energy. I still use her short meditations. I felt the tension in my shoulders, around my clavicle, okay, also known as your what is that? The shoulder bone, okay? And the mandible, which is the jawbone, and around my sternum, which is in the middle, right? To the right of your heart chakra, right? I felt that all in my breastplate, in my back. I felt the tension. So in that breathing, I didn't realize how I was holding my breath. And I know better, right? But seeing this card, it's just a kind reminder. A lot of what you're going to hear here is not something new, okay? It's not going to be like, oh, I knew that. Sometimes we just need a reminder. Sometimes we go through a human experience. Sometimes we just lovingly have to guide ourselves right on back to what it is that we know, back to the basics, right? So this is helping the inner child, believe it or not. Okay, so it says, listen, holding your breath makes tension tighter in the physical body. For example, your stomach, your shoulders. When you are stressed, focused, or irritated, focus on your breathing. So sometimes we're focused on a thought. I think that's what this card was trying to say. Sometimes we can get so deep in a thought that we don't realize that we're holding our breath, right? So let's just say I go back to 1999 or 1987 and whatever age I am at that time, and I remember that one time my mother said da 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 da. The mind is like doing this, and the body is holding its breath. I promise you, because it's holding a visual picture of the trauma. Yeah. And the mind doesn't know the difference between 1999, what happened then, as you relive that in real time in the current, and what is actually happening now in 2024. The mind does not know the difference. This is why it's so important to be a watcher of your own thoughts, be an auditor of your own mind. Your mind is a very powerful tool, right? So even in doing that shadow work, remember to breathe. When I was in the Nation of Islam, we went through mind auditing. At this time, it was unheard of. It was very controversial. I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. And this is based on the premise of Dianetics, right? L. Ron Hubbard. Well, since then, it's gotten a bad rap, a bad this, a blah, blah, blah. Listen, take what resonates in all of these understandings, spiritualities, and beliefs. Take the meat and spit out the bones. 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, if there was something good that came along people's paths, okay, by way of healing, there was always somebody that wanted to take it and abuse it. But I personally enjoyed it. So the beautiful part about the mind auditing is that you're in this light hypnosis, okay? And the sister that was helping me was so beautiful. Her voice was very calming. So in this light hypnosis, you're not completely, not aware that you are aware. You're not unaware that you're aware, rather, right? And so you're very much playing a huge part in your own healing. And so the first audit, they take you back to your first moment of pain and trauma. Okay. And then by the time you end the audit, you finish with remembering your first moments of pleasure. This was huge. This was so huge. Okay. And this had to have been, oh goodness, at least 17 years ago. So now here we are, fast forward with the world waking up, going through this great awakening. This is instrumental in the sense that we were moving right along, but we weren't healed. Okay. We were getting our PhDs. We were, certified. We were working good jobs, but the inner child was suffering. So then you come across somebody at your job, or, they say something to you and you get triggered and you snap and you don't know why, because maybe this person reminds you of somebody that violated you when you weren't able to stand up for yourself, right? So yeah, it really goes deep. We'll get more into that in another video, but the breathing aspect of it, okay? In order for me to go through any form of light hypnosis, okay, I had to focus on my breathing because the mind was remembering things that I had blocked out. I was like, is this real? This is how powerful the mind is, It has an emergency maneuver that when you go through trauma, it'll shut down. There were people that were getting audited that were going all the way back to the womb, hearing things in amniotic fluid, because the mind really never forgets. Okay, it just has its ways of shutting down when it goes through trauma. It's called PTSD. So there were things that I was reliving and or recanting that I was like, did this really happen? So much so that I had to go to my mother after I went through this session, and I went to her and I said, Mom, I just saw everything that happened between you and my dad. This is the color of the carpet. This is what I saw. I was even getting the smells, okay? I could smell the alcohol on my father's breath the day my mother left, right? So let's discuss abandonment. My relationships with women suffered because it took me a really long time to trust women. This was the first woman in my life. She says, I'm going to the store. I'm going to bring you back a drumstick. I said, okay. She came back about 14 days later with a new guy to come and get me from my dad. And we were living in a motel. Okay, let's get into the shadows, y'all. So fast forward. There was something in me that automatically knew that I couldn't trust people. So I always had this fear of abandonment, which led me to codependent relationships. My mother and my father were very codependent on one another, very much twin flame, relationship by way of energy. So the breathing, okay, we'll get more into that later. Just a little tidbit, because we're going to keep it real, y'all. We're going to come on in. We're going to tell the truth. We're going to open up, because this is how we heal. Just reliving that moment and breathing through it is giving me more peace about it. So listen, breathing, conscious breathing. It says conscious breathing is a wonderful stress reliever and can be used throughout the day. Anytime you notice suspended breaths, pay attention to yourself. Okay? If you're having a negative thought, it adds tension. Make sure you know, because as you start to focus on your breathing, especially when directed to these tense areas of your body, what you're going to find is it's going to promote peace of mind, healing. Okay? So if you feel tightness in your jaw, breathe into your jaw. See breath going into your jaw. If you feel tightness in your back, send breath into your back. If you feel tightness in your chest, release and or exhale from your chest, but give yourself a full breath, expanding the lungs. Okay? Allowing the body to be set free from whatever this energy is, because everything starts with the thoughts. Careful of what you think. When you're not mindful, when you're not aware, when God forbid we were unconscious, there was so many things going on in our physical body. I was in my early 20s and went to the doctor and they thought I had a stroke. Strokes come from anger. You know why? Because I felt so misunderstood. I was an earth angel. I just wanted people to be happy. Why is it that my sister has hated me since I was a child and I've been so nice to her? So my body was going through a spiritual awakening and it was having a very, very intense, real physical reaction. 20 years old. So then I started to get more into the metaphysical end of it. Well, what does a stroke mean spiritually? It's a form of anger. It's pent up energy. This is what happens when you hold your breath too long. The body just locks up. Okay, listen. For every physical ailment, there is a spiritual reason. Okay, so this is how we aid humanity in healing the world by way of being conscious and or aware of what those things are. Each one teach one. Let's make this contagious. However you translate this to somebody else, it's going to be in a way that they need to hear it. And it's not that what I'm doing here is so different than any other teacher. No. Just maybe the group of people that are here listening to this, I'm saying it in a way that this is how they need to hear it. This is what they need to know. Right? But the truth is the same. It never needs any explanation. And the beautiful part is when you apply it, when you hold yourself accountable, being mindful of yourself, monitoring yourself. Okay? Monitoring yourself. There's a beautiful queen who does laughology. This is how she heals the world, by teaching people to laugh through their trauma. What it does is so brilliant because it reprograms the body, okay? Because you have to feed that mind in a way that you're very careful. What you tell it, it will believe. Be it good, bad, or indifferent, real or imagined, it is going to give you back exactly what you feed it. It's the same way with the universe. Don't play with your words. Okay, when you're with people, watch what you say, and especially be more mindful of what you think when you're by yourself. Listen, the future self, it says, this is card number 3. We'll get more into what I just said, but I just want to expound on a few things on this first video as you get an understanding of where this channel and this platform intends to go. This is about authentic self. This says your future self. Imagine an aged version of yourself. Not 5 years older, not 10 years older, but a version of you that is satisfied with a long life lived. Have a conversation with a wise old version of yourself. What advice would you get? Build a relationship and get to know this version of yourself for 8 minutes. I love the fact that all of these exercises are for 8 minutes, y'all. Can we just have a spiritual, let's heal the world 24/7, 365 commercial break? Listen, I love the fact that these are 8-minute increments because to me, it's just enough. It's like a spiritual sip of goodness in the middle of the day. You can do this in the morning. You can do this on your break time. You can do this in the bathroom. You can do this wherever you go. If you feel that something is going on, and you know what's so beautiful is eventually you won't need these cards. Your body will be programmed to remember these messages. And if you're in a situation where you're feeling stressed, God forbid, your mind is automatically going to recant and or remember what it is it needs now in what appears to be a state of conscious emergency. Appears to be. There's always a solution. I love the 8 minutes. I love the fact that it's comparable to 2024, the number 8, as we add those numbers up, as above, so below, which also is the infinity sign and or symbol. The future self, okay? So these are things to encourage ourselves to do. This says one thing at a time, y'all. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. This is so beautiful. I'm not exempt. I'm not exempt, y'all, from getting these messages. So I'm going to take it in here with you. I am your sister. I am your family. Yes, we are all teaching one another to do something. What you have to teach me maybe is something I need to learn, and what I have to give you is something that maybe you need to get. I love the fact that it's equally yoked, equal give and take. It says one thing at a time. The world is now a multitasker dream. The world is now a multitasker's dream. There we go. Today, everyone has to manage scattered thoughts, ideas, and movement. Most are not multitaskers, though. Even a renowned multitasker will have difficulty grounding themselves in the moment. Next time you tackle your never-ending to-do list, focus on one thing. Do one task at a time and see how that allows you to immerse in the task and the moment. When you can rid yourself of all of the other obligations while focusing on what you are doing, the task at hand will allow you to recover and rest. Okay, so let me just admit something, y'all, because it's so important to focus in the current moment. As I was reading that, do you know that my mind went to my son? As I'm reading this, my mind in the background was like, oh, I got to share this with my son. So interesting, isn't it? So if I'm observing my mind, okay, and for you, maybe it was you thinking that you had clothes in the dryer, right? Because we have to remember the only task is to focus in on what we're reading and or focusing in about right now. These are messages, spiritual messages. So that represents to me remembering to take care of self first, because my son is not here with me right now at this time. But the first thing I thought was, oh, I have to share this with my son. Okay. One might concede that maybe I'm thinking about a better version of myself, as our children are an extension of us, right? But I just thought that was really interesting. Okay. So comment down below what you felt about that. And I think we do this sometimes. But I caught it and I realized it. I said, okay, I'm here focused on this, but I thought about him real quick. My mind went to that as I started to read. Although I was reading to you, my mind was somewhere else. Okay. So I'm learning how to bring myself back to current moment, but I'm also thinking about a version of myself and wanting to help my son, right? You know what it reminds me of? It's like, okay, you're helping all these people. And sometimes, you know, we have to bring more patience into helping the people that are closest to us, right? That's what it made me feel. If I can just, you know, have a vulnerable moment with y'all. That's what I felt. Okay. I really did. Yeah, I was like, ooh, why did my mind go to that so quickly? Okay. So these are what are these here? The Yin Yang Oracle deck. And the premise of this deck is it's an oracle deck that provides the overall influences affecting and or your soul's mission by way of connecting. The deck assesses duality of influencing energies that can range from spiritual, emotional, physical, and planetary. 80 cards, superior, smoothed out with the guidebook, okay? And what it does is it assists in the intuitive process according to the person that made these cards. So I'm reading from the back of the box, obviously. So let's just see. We're going to pull 4 cards and see what it is that Spirit is telling us. Now, I know that a lot of us were on that soulmate journey, you know, twin flame journey. It was really intense, wasn't it? Because we met a lot of karmic soulmates, because 9 times out of 10, you were meeting versions of yourself that you still needed to heal, okay? And so to me, when you meet somebody that is an immediate enemy, to me, they just represent parts of yourself that still need healing. Sometimes you just attract weird energies, though. And so in that, this is where intuition meets discernment, and you have to know when to move forward and get away from certain energies too. Because again, fight or flight is a very wise energy to embody when you feel that you don't need to be around somebody. So Spirit is saying growth. Something about the summer months, y'all. It's going to be real nice. Something about growth. Okay, when I look at this card, I think of water. I think of healing. I think of sounds of water. I don't know if a lot of you have introduced the sounds of water as you sleep in the night, the sounds of rain. They also have these sound machines, the babbling brook, whatever the sounds are. Something about water is really healing, or whatever sound you feel resonates with your spirit, right? This is about taking the meat and spitting out the bones. This could be something great for somebody else. Maybe there's somebody else here that doesn't resonate with, and that's okay. Whatever it takes for you to stress less, okay? So this says forming structure, solid foundation. Ooh, when I think of this card, I think of earth, I think of water, I think of rock, I think of solid. I think of grounding, I think of earthy, okay? Earthy, 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 earthly, nature, solid foundation. From a spiritual standpoint, that just means rooted, the truth, authentic, comfortable in your own skin, comfortable being who you truly are, okay? Without any preconceived notions of what people will assume that you are will be your best asset. Growth, the summer. Something's real powerful about summertime, y'all. So I don't know what's happening with summer. But something is really going to take off for us around the summer months. I just feel that intuitively. Okay. Absolutely, our energy does affect the cosmos. It affects the weather. But this is about growth. So you know what? Something about divine masculine energy too, okay? So there's a lot of us that are preparing for our divine partners, right? Divine feminine, okay? Divine masculine, if you're here, you are welcome. Hi there, hello there. Listen. In order to really prepare as a divine feminine for your masculine, oftentimes you need to tap into your masculinity. That's just in my opinion, okay? That could seem a little off kilter, okay? But I say tap into your masculinity, not in the sense that you want to emasculate a man because you have so much masculinity that this person is not in a position to show you their divine masculinity. This just means, understanding from their standpoint what they've had to go through. This does not mean that you are required to get into anybody's sickbed. No, this is about being with people, watching them grow in a way that they're helping themselves, right? It's nothing like being supportive to somebody who is supporting themselves, who likes themselves, who's dedicated to being a better person, right? That to me is a healthy relationship. We've done the trauma bonding, right? Trauma bonding sounds a little bit like this. You meet somebody and you're like, oh yeah, my mom was an alcoholic. And this person's like, yeah, my mom was an alcoholic too. Well, yeah, when I was in second grade, I got molested by my cousin. Oh, that ain't nothing. I got molested by my dad. And then you just going back and forth, out traumaing each other. Like, what is that? That's a trauma bond. And then you find yourself in this codependent relationship. Codependent. Well, where are you going? Well, who are you talking to? Fear of abandonment. Fear of being alone. Being alone and being lonely are two different things, right? And so then you build this foundation that's very codependent, very shaky, very wobbly. Nobody can be with anybody all the time, every day, right? That's impossible. It's times that I gotta detach from myself parts of the day. Oh my God. Nevertheless, understanding the masculine energy, loving from a position that you see your father in a way that you can love him as a child, understanding what he's had to encounter will help you heal from whatever trauma you had to go through. Maybe you had a loving father. Maybe you forgiving your father. Maybe you're still forgiving your father. Maybe some of you didn't have your biological fathers around. You can still resonate with that energy. You are a form of the best version of your parents, right? Even if you weren't connected to them, mother, father, whatever. Listen, family, home, okay? This is why the soul tribe is so important, y'all. People say, oh, soul tribe. No, these are people that really resonate with your soul. These are people that you should feel safe with, safe to be transparent, safe to be who you are. If you want to cry today, you say, you know what, soul tribe, hey, I'm feeling like, I want to cry today. Okay, these are people that you feel safe with. These are people that, they don't get into your sick bed, but they understand that you need space and time to breathe for a moment. Maybe get back centered, figure out what trigger you're dealing with, and then find the solution, because the more you pour into yourself, and I'm telling you, this is proven, tested, and tried. It's interesting because I'm sitting back hearing what it is that source is telling me to say too. I'm just a vessel. I'm taking note. Listen, the more you pour into yourself, what you're doing is you're putting all good things into yourself. So naturally, okay, it's almost like control alt deleting old ways of thinking. Naturally, you will start to recant and or pull from great things that are helping you to be better, right? It's like reading a self-help book, right? And then you go out and you got this book in your system. You've read it. It's in your mind. You got these tips. You've taken notes, right? And then you're in a situation that calls for you to, call upon your higher self. And higher self is always the wiser version of yourself, the one that knows the path, the one that understands the journey. Okay, so the answers are always right. You never doubt your intuition. This is the higher self. The higher self knows, right? And so then you're in a situation where now you got to pull from all of what you've learned to this point. It could be a scripture. It could be something wise that you heard. And you're just like, oh, breathe. Let me just breathe. I don't know what to do here, but I'm going to breathe first before I do anything. And I feel like after I do that, everything else is going to flow. Okay? Just doing that puts you in a position of service. Not just, being a great example of what that looks like to other people so they can learn, right? But being of service to the universe. Me taking that beautiful deep breath, breathing out from my chest is aiding and abetting the universe to release and or transmute unnecessary energy. Yes, me right here. I am my own universe. I am my own world. I am my own energy. So when we do this collectively on a large scale together, we're transmuting energies. We're affecting the weather. We're affecting the earth. We are bringing balance by way of bringing things back to the divine nature, back to the basics. Okay, you got a whole bunch of chakras, more than 7, but we'll get into that later. So this is going to be the first reading, okay? I still do judgment courts, okay? I'm still going to be pulling and or exposing certain things over in judgment courts. For those of you that are like, oh my God, Nev. Yeah, this is a very transparent platform for me. It's essential. It's vital to my growth, with the hopes that you will find things here useful that you can use. I'm actually going to record some meditations, breathing, humming are very healing to the soul. This is why I love to sing, y'all. Even when I'm talking, I love to sing. You know why? Because I can feel the vibration moving through my body. And depending on where you are, if you got it on a surround sound, then you're going to feel it all through your back, baby. And it just healed you from sound. Listen, I love Asian culture, because most times their names are based on sounds, right? So at the time of birth, whatever sound they hear is what the child's name is. It could be ping, pong, jong, jang, jang, yong, gang, 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 whatever. So that is the power of sound, right? I'm going to do a video on the power of sound. Let me just pull a couple of cards because I love the tarot, and just see what it is that Source wants us to know for this platform, for the people that are here. Shout out to the people that subscribe to the group. I figure I'll just share what we need to here, okay, for free. Why not? If you want to donate to the channel, though, it is greatly appreciated. It does help. I really want to get you all journals so that we can start to journal together. There's also going to be recommended books, like a book club that we read together. The first book that I can recommend at this point, you can get it on audiobook. At the time I read it, again, over 20 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I had a paperback. If you want to order the book, absolutely do that. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Somebody already knows that book. That's a beautiful book, okay, by Florence Scovel Shen. May the Most High bless her beautiful soul and spirit if she's in another lifetime doing beautiful things. We love you for the body of work that you left behind. That book saved my life so many times. I love that book. So listen, this is the 3 of Wands, okay? So what Source is saying is find your inspiration. That's the representation energy behind this particular card. Find your inspiration. What inspires you? Looking ahead, expansion, growth. The question that you need to ask yourself today is, what inspires and excites you? Nothing else, nothing more. Do that compulsively, obsessively, deliberately, all day today. And Source is saying, then be still and hear the answer, see the answer, feel the answer resonate in your spirit. Anything else we need to see, universe? Yeah, listen. So the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles, okay? Seven of Swords is usually watching out for deceit, okay? I think this has a lot to do with scamming, y'all. Protect your assets, okay? Protect your energy, because there are people that are holding on to a very solid image of you by way of their imagining faculty of who you used to be at a certain level. So protecting your energy is going to allow you to break that soul tie with people that still need you to be whatever they thought you were, or whoever you were. You're not required to be the same person twice. You are absolutely, aligning yourself with being somebody new every day. If you can do it, why not? Let's do it. We're not making it out of life alive. This just said to have a conversation with an older version of yourself. What would your wiser self say? I'm trying to say that so fast. What the what would your older version of yourself say if you're having a wise conversation with an elder? Fast forward. What would they say? I see myself with gray hair, with hair all the way down to my ankles, baby. I'm not cutting my hair no more. Gray, all white. I still look good at 99. What would I say to myself? I would probably just laugh. I would probably laugh. Like, I can see her. She's so cute. She's in all white. I love it. Seven of Swords, okay? So you got some people that's, watching you. Whatever you do for work, if you're giving birth to new ideas, I encourage y'all, start the platforms. Start it, do it. Something that you have to give the divine collective that is not like anybody else. This is how we collectively work together. Toil and labor is Eight of Pentacles. This is about what you're doing, okay? Yeah. So the Seven of Swords also represents what inspires you, what excites you. But in this particular energy, it's also saying, are you trying to trick yourself out of something? Okay. That means like talking yourself out of something, like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or, oh, I don't want to do it, or I don't have time. These are lies. Okay. Yeah, I've told myself lies like that. So I know a lie when I hear a lie. That's a lie. When you really, really want to do something, do it. And sometimes Source is saying, don't wait until your back is up against the wall, right? Yeah, now it's an emergency. Now I need to do it. No, you do it when you are being guided to. This is about obedience to your higher self, co-creating with the Creator. Eight of Pentacles, it says balance work and play and your creativity, right? So having fun with what it is that you're doing for work. Like right now, I'm having a whole bunch of fun. And I'm getting this message, and I'm getting this spiritual work. The universe is giving us what we need. These are tools. These are things to mold and shape us into who we are. Okay. So I told myself I was going to walk today, but I gave myself every reason why I can't. And so I'm going to have a conversation with myself and be like, look, just see yourself putting on your shoes, get your butt outside and go walk. Why? Because this is how you have to do it. You are your number one person. Nobody's coming. God is going to send people to help you because you're praying for good help. Be real specific with your prayers. I'm praying for good help, peaceful help, loving help. Yes. Right. But you're your number one person. So get it done. Right. The question that comes along with the Eight of Pentacles. Do you find... Okay, what does it say? Oh, do you find a deeper meaning in your work? What are you doing? Is it helping other people? Are you helping yourself? Are you enjoying yourself? These are your gifts, okay? So if somebody is saying, well, I don't know my purpose. I don't know, what I'm here to do. I don't know. Then you need to set aside time and meditate, right? Sometimes you're just here to share your story. Your story could save somebody's life, right? Sometimes it's the things that are very, very simple. You know, the world is going to tell you, you need a title, you need a label, you need a degree, you need, oh, I'm the president of the blah, blah, blah. And then this, no, that's not purpose. That's a title. But if that's what you love to do, then there's purpose there. Then you're going to find joy in it. You won't feel as though you're working, right? So this is about being in alignment. Oh, this is such a great reminder for me. Being in alignment, allowing everything to flow by way of prosperity, love, joy. When you are in service, okay, helping others with genuine, intentions, really wanting to see people be okay, really wanting to be okay yourself. Self-preservation, is not always a bad thing. You know, the world is going to tell you, oh, you're self-absorbed. No, there's balance in that. Sometimes you do have to kind of look out for yourself and go within. I'm talking to myself because I help a lot of people, and sometimes I still get into that childhood trauma. That's a childhood trauma by way of overextending myself. This is why I don't do personal readings anymore, because I was completely exhausted to the point where y'all was so exhausted. I was like, ooh, this is out of balance. I was like, I'm not having fun no more. I had to, because my cup was empty, and that's not wise. I learned that by way of watching my mother. That was a learned behavior. So now I lovingly say no. I refund money. Even if I really need it, I feel like fair exchange, no robbery, I refund it. You know why? Because I have to be okay. I want to be in a high vibration when I give you that reading. And if my body is saying to rest, then that puts me out of alignment. If I'm pushing myself, my cup is empty. I ain't got nothing to give you. I'm going to give to myself. Oh, no. So I got to pull back. So people are like, oh, my God, you're not doing readings. I'm like, not right now. I didn't take one day off last year, y'all. I did readings every day. Not one day did I take off. And that's okay. Because at that time, that's what I was supposed to do. And the Most High gave me enough energy, power, positivity, everything that I needed. But when my body was like, pump your mother freaking commercial brakes, I said, oh, I got to pump my brakes. And so I did. I was obedient. I didn't have no other choice. I was sitting there with my eyes closed, having a conversation, talking to somebody. I said, I don't know if I should be sitting here with my eyes closed. I think my body is naturally wanting to go to sleep. So I'm going to end this conversation and take my butt to sleep. I fell asleep in the bathtub. It was a beautiful experience. Listen, coconut baths are the best, y'all. Listen. So Spirit is saying, take action on your ideas. This is all about business, new ideas, creativity. Okay, there is nobody like you. Authentically practice, listen to your voice, start loving the sound of your own voice, critique yourself. If you want to do, content, be a content creator, watch your videos, pay attention to what you say. If you're not watching your video, getting something from your video, then something's out of alignment, God forbid. So we're asking to be in alignment, right? That's like right now what I'm getting, y'all. I got to go and apply this to my life in real life. I'm getting something out of this reading because I know this source is using me as a tool to channel. I feel it. I feel the Holy Spirit all over me. 6 of Wands, whatever you're going to do by way of following your intuitive nudges, okay? Sometimes it's a silent little whisper. Sometimes something will tell you, go to Walmart. You get to Walmart and somebody's there that you meet that maybe you need to know. Whatever it is, the universe is saying, listen, we're always talking. So when we quiet the mind and we breathe and we're still enough to hear, peace be still, you hear. Yes, no, maybe so, go that way. You can hear. You can discern intuitively, right? 6 of Wands, victory. This is what this represents, victory. You have earned your success. The question by way of this card that one should be asking themselves is, do you seek recognition from others? Are you asking for people to recognize your gifts? That's deep. I might need to go meditate on that for the next couple of days. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it real, y'all. So listen, this concludes the message. This is the first one. This one a little longer than what I had anticipated, I'm gonna be honest. But the videos are going to be a lot shorter, okay? I'm just letting you know this is the intro video explaining what the platform is about. So if you like the vibe, you like what it's about, feel free to join, subscribe, like, share. It is free for you to do so. If you'd like to donate to the channel, it's absolutely greatly appreciated. If you just want to, be a better person and go and live your life, that is a big donation to the universe. It's the biggest one that you will ever be by way of contributing to energy. And so I absolutely support you in these beautiful endeavors, as I am supporting myself, as the universe is supporting us all. And I just love it. I'm very, very happy to be here. So hopefully you guys like this. You ladies like this. Divine feminines, divine masculine. Y'all are my soul tribe. Soul tribe. Soul tribe. Soul tribe. Soul tribe. I love you. Peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Namaste. I love you. Pause.